Good afternoon. It's once again Friday, 5:30 in the p.m. And of course, this is your host for the next 25 minutes of Hotline 21, the most interactive television show in the whole United States of America. And some folks would say United States. Well, it's a good day. It's a good day for moving along, and it's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day, everything's been right and nothing can go wrong, 'cause it's a good day. It's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day for losing your blues. It's a good day. This is Education Week for Congressman Danny Davis. And I say it's an Education Week because on tomorrow, we are having our 39th annual back-to-school picnic and parade. We say that education is the key. As a matter of fact, I got elected to the Chicago City Council in April of 1979. And I have been doing a back-to-school parade, and then we moved it and made it a back-to-school picnic and parade. And we've been collaborating with Cynthia Williams and the Taste of Austin, and she has been doing that for 35 years. And so for 39 years, we have been providing the children and the residents, especially of the Austin community, but citywide, with an opportunity to be motivated, stimulated, activated, with the idea that school is getting ready to start. And I tell you, of all the parades and picnics that we've had, and I just love them, because we also have World Health Day, which really means that we'll have about 15 or 20 entities providing health screenings. We'll be giving away free toothbrushes and toothpaste, dental floss. We will have technology workshops. Plus we'll have these trolleys rolling down Central and Laramie and Madison Street and Chicago Avenue, and technology people will be on them. And we'll be trying to motivate our children to get involved with all of this new technology that's emerging every day. As a matter of fact, we are becoming so technologically engaged. If you don't understand it, you don't know it, you better start trying to learn it, because pretty soon every job that's going to be available, in all likelihood, is going to require it. You remember when you used to drive down the alleys and you'd see a lot of fellas out there with their cars jacked up, and they'd be working on their cars and fixing them? You don't see that anymore because you need to have a computer if you're going to be finding out what's wrong with the car, how to fix it, or what to do. So come on out, Sat. We got book bags, school supplies, hot dogs, hamburgers, watermelon, roasting ears, corn. We're going to light up Columbus Park. Our parade kicks off at 10 o'clock a.m. at Bloomingdale and Central. Bloomingdale is 1800 North, and Central is 5600 West. And then we're going to walk and march and dance our way all the way to Jackson and Central into Columbus Park, where we would just have ourselves a funky good time. So come on out, bring the children. We got enough hot dogs and Polish sausage and ketchup and mustard and relish for everybody. So please join us. Join us so that you can be stimulated to know that education is the key. And to help our children understand that if they learn this stuff, they can do anything in the world that they want to do. They can be anything they want to be. And we can say, hey, black child, do you know who you are? Do you know where you're going? And then we'll say to them, if you can't be a pine at the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the Rio. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the moon, be a star. It is not by size that you win or fail, but be the best of whatever you are. Dr. Martin Luther King used to say, if it's your lot to shine shoes like Michelangelo painted pictures. And if you've got a shoe shine stand, be like James Cole. Have the best shoe shine in Chicago, Illinois, like the one over there at Central and Lake Street. Well, let's go to the phone. I see our first caller is on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Congressman Davis?
James, I am doing good. How are you?
Okay. My heart go out to Aretha Franklin family. My heart go out to their family. I think she was a great lady and a great singer. And from the 60s and the 70s and 80s, I think she was a wonderful woman.
Did you like her songs?
Yeah.
Which one did you like best?
Show Me a Little Respect. And,
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good to me.
I'm going to try to make to the thing tomorrow.
All right. Well, we'll be looking for you.
Okay.
We'll have some roasting ears for you.
Okay.
All right. Come on. All right. Caller, are you there?
Well, good evening, Danny Davis.
How are you?
Hi, sweetheart. This is Paula Tenuta over here.
Well, Paula, you know, we really hate that our dear friend is no longer with us.
Yeah,
but we did pay our respects to him.
You sure did.
And went to the wake, and it was so good to see people there, and all of the folks and everything, and well, we're going to miss him.
Yes, he was a heck of a guy. He sure did love you, Danny Davis. My whole family's still talking about it. I really appreciate you. As soon as we heard that you were there, that was unbelievable. God bless you, and thank you ever so much.
Well,
and as far as Aretha Franklin goes, she's up there singing with Uncle Louie and the little racetrack up there in the big sky.
I bet they're having a good time.
You know he is. He dancing with her, stepping all over the place up there. Yes, sir. Hey, I seen on TV the other day they had the mighty Quinn, Governor Quinn. Oh, my Lord. I didn't know what to say to that man, but, hey, that's all I said was he couldn't really talk too much, but it was kind of funny to see him up there. I said, we got to keep our Congressman Danny Davis. We need to make Danny Davis the governor or the mayor. Get out of there, Congressman. You got a couple of good lives and years left of you. Do something. We all love you.
Well, thank you so much. And I tell you, Paula, I love you all too. And as long as I can have friends like you and others I don't worry about what I be. I'll be whatever the good Lord lets me continue to do.
Well, you've been #1 since the day you stepped in that Austin district. Honest and integrity back to your neighborhood. And you've done the best you can, and I know you're going to keep going. Every time I see you on TV, I kiss the TV and tell your beautiful wife I love her.
All right, she'll love that, and thank you so much.
Love all the callers, too. Steve, Ray, all of them, and James. Have a blessed evening. Bye, Congressman. Love.
Bye-bye. Oh, Paul is just so great. You know, people, I don't know if Aretha ever sang this song. People who love people are the most wonderful people in the world. And I don't know if I ever heard Aretha sing that or not, but whether she sang it, it's real and it's true. I saw Aretha, as a matter of fact. I got a chance to smooch around a little bit, went backstage and chatted and laughed and talked a little bit, thanks to a fellow named Jerry Green, who was a promoter. Well, I shouldn't say was. Jerry still promotes things and all of that, and I've known Jerry and his family. As a matter of fact, his father used to be head of something called the Austin Wrist Club. And I was trying to figure out what that meant. It was a little league baseball group. And wrist, you know, you use your wrist to bat. And then I understood what they meant by the Austin Wrist Club. Jerry, if you're out there in memory of your daddy and all the folks who were doing those great things years back, right on, have a good Saturday. If we got another caller, we'll go right ahead. If not, then I got a whole bunch of more stuff to talk about right now.
All right, Congressman.
Yes,
great.
Go right ahead.
Let me double down on what Ms. Paula said. You're the only Democrat that I would vote for, and I wouldn't care what race you were in. President, or it doesn't matter to me, because you'd be the perfect man for the job, any job that's available. Now, about these schools, it's a shame that kids, or children, I should say, can't learn anything because they're afraid to go to school, afraid of bullying, somebody bullying them, and the test for the children and the teachers has been dumbing down so much that the paper that the poem was written on, it's worth nothing. And it's almost getting like that in the high schools also. So why don't you get somebody together, all the people that you know, and let's get it together and let's say, listen, Chicago's a first-class city. We should have a first-class educational program. Let's start doing it.
You know, you're so correct in terms of fear. I had a town hall meeting in Oak Park night before last, and that's not in Chicago, but in Oak Park. And one lady got up at the meeting and said she was a substitute teacher, and she was afraid. And then one gentleman spoke and said that, you know, his children were at the school, and, you know, he wanted to make sure that the schools were locked up every day and nobody could get in. And you know, there's a lot of fear around, and I encourage people to be careful, be watchful, but don't be afraid. I mean, I remember something Franklin Delano Roosevelt said one time. When the economy was bad and all kind of things, the war was going on, and bombs were being used and all, and he said, the only thing that we have to fear is fear itself.
Listen, Congressman, it was Barbara Streisand that sung the song that you were talking about, People Who Love People.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who. But I'll tell you what, and she sung it well. But if
She
Aretha,
did.
But if Aretha ever sang it, she'd have put her to shame. Okay.
All right.
That's the truth. I'm talking the truth from my heart. So, Congressman, I'll give you a call next week, and thank you for being you. And your wife, your beautiful wife.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you indeed. Yeah, I think Aretha put most of those singers to shame. There was something about the power in her voice. She was out of sight. Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Yes, Congressman, thank you for taking my call. And I wanted to make the point in terms of what you were just discussing. And unfortunately, it's a sad, self-perpetuating cycle. Unfortunately, as neighborhoods and communities are perceived as being places where violence takes place and young people are lacking in terms of proper behavior, who wants to go to that school? Who wants to be a teacher at that school? Who wants to be a substitute teacher at that school? And then, of course, as the educational levels decline because you don't get the kind of people that you want teaching those children because they don't want to work there, that cycle is perpetuated because the kids then don't end up being taught very well, which, of course, reproduces the exact conditions that we're talking about. Because it's not as if you come out of an environment that says, I had terrible teachers, a terrible environment, but I'm going to go on to be Phi Beta Kappa. No, the likelihood is that if you had attended that school, you're going to end up in that neighborhood, and your children are going to end up in that neighborhood, and they're going to reproduce the same bad sorts of outcomes that you had. And unfortunately, we need a movement in this country which recognizes that my child is not just my child, and my school district is not just my school district, and that's what I need to care about, because that's what we are today. Property taxes fund the kind of schools that you can afford in America. And as long as we continue to think that if I live in Winnetka and my children have a great education and they go to some of the best schools in America, that's fine because they're getting a great education. And I don't have to care about what happens in Harvey, Illinois, or on the west side of Chicago. Whereas other industrialized nations in the world have said, you know what, we have a national educational fund and all children are entitled to a baseline of education and resources. And then beyond that, if you're wealthier, fine. Allocate more money. You want to buy every child in your school an iPad because you want to have a fundraiser? We can allow for that because you have a right to do that.
But wouldn't it be great if we could create the kind of world that you're talking about? If we could. And so talking about what the world needs, wouldn't it be that if there was more love in the world, and I don't mean romanticizing, I mean if people just cared as much about others as they care about themselves.
And I agree with you. That's the notion about loving one's fellow man and the idea of being one's brother's keeper. And you're right, absolutely. Now, I think that we as liberals and progressives have made a little bit of a mistake, you might say more than a little, in that we keep trying to appeal to people's better nature rather than selling them on the idea that this is in your interest. That keeping young people well-educated keeps them out of jail, out of prison. It keeps them off the unemployment line. It means they're going to take less of your social welfare dollars because they're going to need less if they're well-educated and well-employed. And that you're going to have a much better workforce. I mean, all of these things translate to your bottom line. And that's how we should sell this to people when we talk about better funding and more equity. Not the idea that you're going to be able to walk into your church feeling better about what you did yesterday because you gave money, but because you invested in something that's going to have a good return for you.
Right on. And the more we get together, the happier we will be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. And all those good things will be going on. Thank you so much. Let me take this next call. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman, and it's a great day to be on God's green earth. Let me tell you just something which you said at the beginning about the schooling and what Steve just got through saying about the schooling. And I wanted just to piggyback a little bit more on that. You stated it was a time you could go down the alleys, you see the mechanics, or what they used to call them, alley mechanics. You used to see people at the shoe shops fixing shoes. Used to see people at the hatter cleaning hats, making hats. Used to see our people at the gas station, owners and whatnot. Somewhere along the line, when the older people passed, the younger people got lazy. They always was a pimp where they always took something. Something was given to them. The schools are being locked up, torn down, not because of political people. They don't want to go to school. That's the bottom line. How can you have a school that's built for 2,000 people and you got 400 or 500 people in the school? You got to also look at what's wrong with these parents. It's a lot of reasons why things are happening. But let me tell you something, as they used to say. I remember when my parents gave me my first property. I remember used to go by. I used to go with them and collect the rent. Now these days, it went from letting some other company collect for you and you paying them. The smartest way was to form your own management company and you take care of all of that and the money is still there. So again, we got to do something. People need to get out their butts and try to learn something. It was a time you could lose a job and go down the street and get hired again. Those days are gone. So what you need to do is learn some form of education, technology. You need to get on some kind of form of a medical part. You need to do something. There ain't no more shining shoes.
I no wonder you're such a lucky man. Your parents gave you some property.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I got 2 pieces of property when I was 20 years old. I have increased that.
You are a fortunate individual.
No, that's not fortunate. That's what God. Because see, I came from the streets, and I had a good education. So I put those things to work, and I thank God for what happened for me. Anyone could do things. Listen, you hear me always talking about Haymarket. I used to go down to Haymarket and find contractors down there to come and do some work. We are some smart people if we put our mind to it. But the problem is what they want to put their mind to it now. They want to see some woman shaking her butt on TV instead of going to school and learn something that you get from the books. It's real simple. Listen, I'm not going to stay on the phone too long.
All right.
But a man such as you, look what you did with your life. You remember as we was kids, get your education, and one day you become the president. And look, we finally have one. Thanks for taking the call. Let me get out there so I can hear your response.
All right. Thank you so much. And let's hear this next caller right quick. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. And Steve, God bless Steve. That's an anointed man like yourself, and God bless you and your wife. And Aretha was anointed also. But Steve was so right about what he said. If only all of the parents could teach their children the way his mom and his dad did for him. You got to work. You got to stay in school and get your education. Do you know I raised my children like this before they went out? We prayed first before they went out to school. But then I let them know when they went to school, look, you respect your teacher, you respect yourself, and you respect your classmates. Now, I don't expect to have to come off work and come to school for your behavior. None of that.
Well, we just got to teach more of it. We got to try as hard as we can, and we got to work hard to make the world what we want the world to be. And I always say good better or best. Never let it rest until your good becomes your better and your better becomes your best. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the week. Do something good for somebody else. And I guarantee you, somebody will do something good for you. Let me tell you, I stopped in the other day to get an ice cream bar, and a homeless man wanted to pay for my ice cream bar. I was so humbled by that. It was yesterday, as a matter of fact. And this homeless fella said, "Let me pay for your ice cream bar." There are a lot of good people in the world. You just have to find them. Thank you so much. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.